Welcome to Goats of Anarchy. My name's Ellen. I'm an animal caregiver here, and I'll be showing you around. For those of you who don't know, Goats of Anarchy is a sanctuary for farmed animals, and especially those with special needs. We focus on goats, but we're also home to horses, donkeys, cows, pigs, birds, sheep, alpaca. So we have almost 200 animals total, and oh, Link pushing everybody around. Because we're a sanctuary, that means that every animal here will be here forever. This is their forever home. So we will care for them for the rest of their lives. Hi, Dale. Dale knows that I give him special treats in secret, so he follows me around until I give them to him. All of the animals who live here come from backgrounds of, oh, hi, Chibs. Backgrounds that include neglect, abuse, injury, illness, things along those lines. So every animal you see here has overcome something really significant in their lives, but they would never let you know it because their attitudes are amazing and all they ever want to do is just have fun. They truly live their lives to the fullest, and they're an amazing example. Hey, buddy. Our goats are separated into different yards based on their ability level and size and age. And this is kind of the main one where the majority of our goats live. The goats out here are some of the most able-bodied goats on the farm. Some of them do wear prosthetic devices, like Monty here. He lost his hoof to frostbite as a baby, and a pretty good hint that a goat is a frostbite victim is their ears. You can see that he doesn't have the tips of his ears, and that's one of the first things to go when a goat gets frostbite. So there are a few goats in this yard who wear prosthetic devices, but most of them don't outwardly show signs of their past. Oh look, it's Uncle Mike.
Hi.
Mike, do you have a minute?
Sure. Absolutely.
I'm giving a virtual tour of the farm.
Okay.
Do you mind just introducing yourself and saying why you work here and what you love about it?
Sure. Hi, I'm Mike. I've been working here for about a year now. I volunteered for a couple of years before that. I used to work a corporate job in Manhattan, and I quit that to work here full time, and I couldn't be happier. The main reason why I work here is because I love these guys so much, and I love taking care of them and tending to them and making sure they're all healthy and safe and just living the best lives they possibly can. And I'm kind of trying to do the same thing for myself, and I think they're helping me as much as I'm helping them.
Hi, Dolly. This yard, we kind of nicknamed the toddler yard. And most of the goats in this yard wear prosthetic devices for their mobility. Oh, Clara, you got a strap loose. Let's fix it. There we go. Prosthetics don't work for all of them. So some of them have their feet wrapped. Bambi's taking a little nap, huh? What's your pretty big shoes? Some of them, like Poppy, are missing limbs. So you can see Poppy only has one back leg. Hi, baby girl. Dee Dee is a master hairstylist. If anybody needs a haircut, she can hook you up. Okay, we're gonna head over into the what we call the GOA2 yard. Hi, Lukey. Luke is one of our guardian dogs. He does a great job protecting the herd. Yeah, hey, buddy. So this herd we call GOA2 because they used to be at our second location. We used to have 2 locations, and then when we moved to this farm, we consolidated everybody. But these guys are really close-knit. They love each other a lot, and they're really happy being in their own paddock. So they've stayed together. Hi, this is Zeke. Most of the goats in this yard came as babies from a live auction, and they were all really sick, but they made it and they grew up to be some of the sweetest, most affectionate goats on the farm. They are some of our biggest goats, but they're all just big babies because, you know, they came to us as babies and they learned to trust humans when they were young. So they really love human attention, and they're some of the most fun goats here, I think, because they get rowdy and they play and they have a blast. However, these two, Bear and Rocco, are some of the only goats in this yard who didn't come from that situation. They were actually feral goats who were living on their own for a couple of years in a dilapidated barn. And then that barn was going to be torn down, and so they were in danger of losing their homes and their lives. So Leanne, our founder, went out to that barn every day for a long time and worked really hard to earn their trust so that we could capture them and bring them here and introduce them into this herd where they're really happy and comfortable. So that was a really cool story with a very happy ending, and we're so glad they're here. Okay, we're gonna head over into the next yard. Hey guys. Hi. Aw, you got such a pretty face. So these goats are all part of a group of 20 goats that we took in from an emergency situation where their caretaker was losing his home, and he didn't want these goats to go to auction where they would most likely be slaughtered. So we agreed to take 20, and we've adopted out several groups of them by family. We've kept all of the families together. But we have 4 families left here, and they were pretty skittish when they got to us, but they have all really warmed up and gotten super curious and friendly, and they love taking treats from you, and they seem to be really happy here. This yard is, I'm not going to go in because Franklin, the attack turkey here, is not my biggest fan. But this yard is where our goats who have CL live. CL is a medical condition that doesn't affect their quality of life, but we don't want to spread to other goats. So all the goats who have CL live together in this herd. They have this awesome playground. They love to run up and down the hill together and play on the playground together. And pretty much if one of them starts doing something, then they all have to do it. So they're all good friends, and they also let our birds hang out with them. Here's one of our barn cats. Hi, baby. Hey, good girl. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's sweet. There are 3 cats who look just like her who live in the hayloft. So here's the inside of our big, beautiful barn. You guys have already met Mike, and this is Jeannie, our nurse and board member who does all the dressing changes for our amputees. We couldn't do anything without her. And I'll just kind of walk you down the aisle so you can see what the inside of some of our stalls look like. There are a total of 20 stalls in here, and somehow it's still not enough. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about this when we get down to the sheep and alpaca field, but we are currently raising money for a new barn for our sheep and alpaca so that some of these goats can move down to where they are now, and we can free up some of these stalls. Good help. Did you take Jeannie's chair? That was very sweet of you. Okay, we're heading down to see the sheep and alpaca. Nice view, beautiful pond. Hey guys! So we have 4 alpacas. This is Lady and Boogie. Hey girl. And this is Aria and Gilly. And then we also have 10 sheep, like Uncle Ned here. Hey buddy. This is Cowboy. Hey buddy. Our sheep are super affectionate and will let you know when they want to be pet. Cowboy especially. Here's Eli having a little nap. What's going on, man? So most of our sheep were rescued from livestock auctions, which is where people bring animals for them to be bid on. And most of the people who are buying animals at livestock auctions are doing that with the intention of using them for meat. And if you've never been to a livestock auction or seen pictures or videos, they're really hellish places. So Cowboy and Eli are two of our animals that came from livestock auctions, and they were super sick when they got here as babies, but they're doing awesome now. See, Cowboy's gonna follow me around because he wants love. Buddy, I'm trying to shoot a video. We have one sheep, Fitz, who wears a prosthetic device. So this is a brace to support his leg, which is contracted. And he's been like that since he was young. Hey, buddy. Julia has the best hair of any of our sheep and alpaca herd. So these are the barns that the sheep and alpaca live in right now, and we are currently raising money to build them a brand new barn that we're going to put in the cow field. So I'm going to show that to you. The cow field has tons of grass, lots of space, and the sheep and alpaca are going to be super happy to move up there. They're going to love that field because, as you can see, they don't have a ton of grass here, and they would really love to be able to graze more. So moving the sheep and alpaca, who for convenience sake we call them shalpacas, from here to the cow barn will free up these barns for some of our goats in the big barn to move into. And the goats that will move in here are some of the gentler, calmer goats who will really like having a quiet, peaceful place, kind of away from all the hustle and bustle and activity that happens up in the big barn. Okay, so we're heading over to Lawson's barn now. So these are the Lawson's barn goats, and the goats who live in Lawson's barn are oh, Finn the wrecking ball. The goats who live in Lawson's barn are some of our animals who require the most care and attention. So they live year-round in a temperature-controlled barn with people who can keep an eye on them all day long and help them out with whatever they need. Many of them are in wheelchairs or prosthetic devices or both, or they are recovering from injuries or whatever it might be. Lawson's barn is a really special place because all the animals are with other animals just like them. We're facing some of the same challenges, and you know, as they see each other succeed, they tend to get inspired to do the same themselves. So they can cheer each other on and use each other for inspiration, and it's really amazing. Hi, Milo. Cody, you saying hi to Arlene? Arlene, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Arlene Geber, and I am the animal care manager here at Goats of Anarchy. Myself and my family all live on the property. My main focus is taking care of all the animals down in the Lawson barn in the Playhouse area.
What do you like about working with the Lawson's barn babies specifically?
I love that they never give up. That they, despite all the challenges, and a lot of them have had a very rough start in life, none of them ever gives up. They all want to fight to be mobile. They find friendships with each other. It's a great little community down here. These guys are a lot of work, a lot of care and attention, but it's so worth it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Do you have a favorite story from Lawson's?
My favorite story right now is Miss Vivi, who has just blown us all away. We got Vivi about a year ago, and Vivi was in such bad shape when we got her that we really didn't post much about her because it was a sad situation. Vivi was a very strong-willed girl, and despite all of her injuries and disabilities, she fought through them all. We had a lot of, medical issues that we weren't sure she would ever bounce back from, and we finally kind of decided that her best shot would just be to have some prosthetics to help her stand up a little bit in a cart. We never expected her to really be mobile or move around at all. And then exactly a week ago today, Vivi was out taking a cart break because she was starting to get some skin irritation, and she decided that she didn't want her cart anymore, and she wanted to show us that she didn't need it anymore. And I came back in the barn after moving some of these guys outside, and Vivi was walking across the floor eating hay out of a wall feeder with Mila, her wheelchair friend. So Vivi's been on the move ever since. We literally have to make her take breaks and rest.
Do you need some attention, Finn?
And he's like, what about me?
Okay, so right next to Lawson's barn is what we call our playhouse area. And we like to say that this is where our babies and blinds live. So some of the goats who are here are just too young to move up to the big barn yet. And the other group of goats who are down here are blind goats, like Sophie and Chloe, who are twins and are both blind. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Rudy over here is another example of a blind goat. When we got him, we were told he was deaf and blind, but it became pretty clear pretty quickly that he can definitely hear. And he is just one of the sweetest, most gentle goats you will ever meet. He's amazing. We also have a group of goats like Roxy here, who were actually rescued from living in a concrete enclosure in a shopping mall. And they were so scared there and just really did not have much quality of life. But ever since they've gotten here, they've really opened up and become super friendly and playful and sweet, and it's been amazing to watch them kind of blossom. Hi, Ralphie. We also have in this yard Maybelle and her, what we've nicknamed Baybells, her 4 babies. Maybelle was rescued from a breeding farm where she, hey buddy, she had been bred several times, and she every time had had her babies taken away from her. But when we rescued her, she was pregnant for the 4th time, and with 4 babies. Ever since they were born, they have just been attached at the hip. They're never very far from each other. They love each other so much and snuggle every night. And it's been so much fun to watch her babies grow up and watch her realize that she's keeping them this time. So this adorable little house belongs to the 2 luckiest goats on the farm, Phoebe and Birdie, who have this cute little dollhouse to themselves with the cutest front porch and lots of nice shade, big yard. They're separated out because of health reasons and also just because of their personalities. They're best friends and they really love having a space all to themselves. Hello. This is the chicken coop. We've done a little bit of a circle and we're gonna head back up towards the big barn and then take a left and see the horses and the cows. On the way up to the big barn, we have the pig field. So here's where the piggies live. Hi guys. Oh, they hope that I have their dinner, but it's a little early. Hey buddy. We have 4 pigs who live in this yard and 1 indoor pig who lives with Leanne. And this is their house and their little shady spot for sunny days. This is Louie. He'll do anything for a belly rub. Hi, bud. Oh, yeah. Nice sounds. You jealous? Yeah, a little bit. Here we are back at the big barn, and I'll give you the view from the front. We built this when we bought this property, so it's only about 2 years old now, and it's gorgeous and we love it. So just to the left of the big barn is our bird barn and a little bird run for inclement weather, and our turkeys, geese, and ducks live in here together. If you keep heading away from the barn, then you get to our horse fields and cow pasture. So in this paddock we have Noah in the front here, Bella, and Surrey. And Bella and Surrey are both very able young horses who have a lot of energy and love to play together. And Noah is a sweet old blind man who does his best to keep up. Noah and Bella were the first two full-size horses that we rescued, and so they've been together for a long time and they're very attached to each other. Or I should say Noah's very attached to Bella. Bella likes to play hard to get a little bit. And then ever since Surrey moved in, Noah's definitely developed a bond with her as well. So they're a funny little trio, but they do great together. These handsome boys are Samson and Jonah. They are ex-Amish workhorses who were saved from auction. And they're enjoying a little time in the round pen. Hi! This isn't their normal paddock, so they're getting a little change of scenery. This is our blind herd. All three of the horses who live in this paddock are blind. Malachi, Delilah, and Moses. Hi! Hey buddy! Delilah and Malachi are kind of a thing. You would think that the blind horses might be dangerous or unpredictable more so than the rest, but honestly these guys are the chillest, most well-behaved horses we have. And one of the reasons that a horse can go blind is a condition called uveitis, which is what Moses here has, and that's why he wears this guardian mask. It helps keep the UV rays out of his eyes because his eyes are extra sensitive to that. This paddock is where our mini horses and mini donkeys live. We have 8 full-size horses, 5 mini horses, and 2 mini donkeys. Hi, Artie. Artie likes oranges, and I've been sharing my oranges with him lately. He's disappointed that I don't have one today. This is Bucket. All our horses are sporting their fly masks to keep the flies out of their eyes, by the way. Bucket and his mom, Mirabelle, over here, were saved from an auction. Not a lot of people realize, but horses are slaughtered for meat. It's not legal in the US, but they're shipped to Mexico or Canada where it is legal, and it happens every day. This is Torres and Romeo. They're best friends. They were the first 2 equines that we ever had at Goats of Anarchy, and they've been together since the beginning. This is Albie, a mini donkey. He was at an auction being advertised as a pregnant Jenny. And Jenny is the term for a female donkey. But it turns out he was not pregnant and not female. Butt rubs are pretty much his favorite thing in the whole world. This little cutie is named Teaspoon. She's one of very few equines who has ever had an amputation surgery. It's very uncommon in the equine world. And she is doing so great. She healed really, really well from it, and she's walking great in her prosthetic device. And she's just in her own little pen right now because, hi, good girl. She's much smaller than the rest of our minis, and so we wanted to give her a chance to acclimate and meet them through the fence. Hi. No, that's bad behavior. But you're cute. Also, her halter has little unicorns on it. So we're heading over to the cow field, which is also the future home of the sheep and alpacas. You can see they have this humongous field. It's amazing, beautiful, and they've got tons of space to run and play. You can see the cows way back there. We'll go see them. Hey! This is Greta. Sporting her fly mask. Hi, cutie. Greta loves to give kisses. Oh, Leo wants in too. Yeah, you need to give kisses? Okay. Leo and Greta were both rescued from a local dairy farm. They were both really sick, and they had lived the first several weeks of their lives literally on chains. And so we were so happy to be able to give them all this space when, you know, the beginning of their lives was defined by restriction and confinement. And Harriet was the most recent cow to join the herd. She was rescued from a meat farm in the area, so she was being raised for meat, and she was born without her back hooves, so she wasn't walking properly. And at 6 months old, the farmer decided to surrender her, and we were able to get her a prosthetic device to help her walk. And she will likely need a device for her other back foot as well, but we're taking things one step at a time. Hi, Harriet. She's so pretty and curious. She doesn't often act on that curiosity because she's still a little scared and skittish, but she gets friendlier every day, and we try to make every interaction a positive one so she can really learn that our role is just to take care of her. So I'll take you down to see the cow barn and the future site of this alpacas barn. This is our beautiful cow barn, generously funded by Maria Mason. And the right side is empty right now, so we have a little bit of room to grow. And Leo, Greta, and Harriet share this side of the barn. This is where the alpaca barn will be, right on top of that gravel. So as soon as we've fundraised for that, we can move our sheep and alpaca up here, and they're grazers, so they are gonna be so excited by all this grass. They're just not even gonna know what to do with themselves. All right, well, we'll just end where we started, back in the GOA 1 yard. If you have watched this whole long video, thank you so much for being here and listening and learning all about GOA. We appreciate your support so much, and I just want to emphasize that we could not do any of what we do without your support. We run entirely on donations, mostly small donations, and it probably sounds like it's not true, but I really mean it when I say that every single dollar counts. And if you've ever made a donation to us, or even just by liking our social media posts or watching our videos here, you're supporting us in a way that is so meaningful, and we appreciate it more than we can really express. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We really, really appreciate you. Say bye, Juice. Don't want to? That's cool. You want to say bye? Monty wanted to say bye too. Don't worry, Monty, we didn't forget you.